most people would have thought it would have been a dream, you know, being able to wake up, do what I want every day, being surrounded by like best mates, endless amounts of girls, like going to the best parties. You'd think that sounds amazing, and to be honest, yeah, it is amazing, but it gets boring pretty quick.
Mike Thurston has just come out and made his most important piece of content to this day. For those unaware of who this person is, please allow me to elaborate. He's got the muscle, he's got the money, he's got the women, he's got pics bigger than your future. In the realm of fitness influencers, he is in fact the king that reigns supreme. And if you're a 16 to 30-year-old male who's into fitness and the gym, he's probably who you one day dream to be. So just the other day, Uncle Mike has shared some incredible wisdom on his YouTube channel that has undoubtedly gone over the heads of most people watching his content. And that is exactly why I decided today to make a video zooming in on the statements he made and dig a little bit deeper. But first, allow me to set the table for those who don't really know who Mike is and what I'm talking about. So, Mike actually lives in Dubai. That's where he spends most of his time. He likes to be in the sun. He's an influencer, so he needs to be on the beach on a daily basis. So he's there for about 6 months a year. Now, every other summertime, he'll return to Europe and spend most of his days in Ibiza. And yes, Mike fanboys, I am aware that he also frequents other islands, but let's keep it simple for this video, as it's not solely directed to you guys. From what we can see from the outside looking in, he spends the majority of his time riding jet skis, partying on yachts, deep diving in the blue ocean, having dinner at the most exclusive restaurants, and going out with friends and incredible models at exclusive lounge beach bars. So let's see what good old Uncle Mike had to say about what most of you would call the perfect summer, as he reminisces on the last 4 months.
Now, after further thoughts and reviews of my summer, I've come to the conclusion that I've learned 3 very important things. So it wasn't a complete waste of time. First one, I honestly don't think I can live with other people. I feel like when I'm living by myself, I have my own time to think, to have conversations with myself, to be creative, and to just get shit done without being distracted. When you're living with other people, especially when you're living with your mates, a couple of rowdy mates, it's not going to happen. Second thing, my environment is going to have a big impact on my mindset and my career, right? So if I choose to go and reside on a party island, which is notorious for being a place where people just go let loose, get fucked up, and just chill out and don't do any work, then obviously that's going to rub off onto me, and I'm not really going to get much done. I found it extremely difficult for me to actually do any work because everyone around me was just there either to relax, let the hair down, or to party, right? So that's important. I don't think I can do that again next summer. I have to choose another place to reside if I'm going to go live somewhere else. And the third and the most important thing, which is probably the biggest lesson of the summer, and that is a great deal of my own happiness comes from having a purpose. So being on a mission, knowing that I'm actually like doing something which I should be doing. I pretty much, realistically, for 4 months did no work. I didn't really do anything. Posting a few pictures on Instagram, the odd video here and there. I didn't really do much work. And to be honest with you, like, even though I was having a good time, you know, most people would have thought it would have been a dream, you know, being able to wake up, do what I want every day, being surrounded by like best mates, endless amounts of girls, like going to the best parties. You'd think that sounds amazing, and to be honest, yeah, it is amazing, but it gets boring pretty quick. After a while, it becomes very repetitive, and it's not really that fulfilling or satisfying. And to be honest, like the last month I was there, maybe even sooner than that, I was just a bit bored. I felt like I was depressed, but I was waking up feeling like, you know, why do I not feel good today? Why am I not feeling happy? I should be feeling happy. Look at my environment. Look where I am. Like, isn't this the dream? No, it's not.
Did you hear that? The life that you dream of. The goal of all goals. The very idea that keeps you force-feeding yourself bland chicken breast with broccoli on a daily basis is boring? Say it ain't so, Uncle Mike. Now, why would he say that, though? Well, I've got a couple of ideas, so let's start from the start. One possibility that instantly comes to mind for me is this infamous quote by a French philosopher called Sartre. And this guy stated, "Hell are other people." And what he means by that is, as long as you are surrounded by people, whether you know them or not, you are a prisoner of their perception of you. So what it basically means is that you can never be absolutely free unless you're alone. Sartre also believed that man would be at his best when he would be alone. Now, if we take this philosophy and apply it to Mike's life, we can find some interesting things. First of all, I think it's quite safe to say that Mike, in essence, is a loner. He lives in Dubai by himself. He might have the odd cameraman pop in and out, but in general, he spends his days by himself. And from that position, he is able to carefully pick and choose when and where he will engage in social interactions. Now, just because you're a loner or an introvert, it doesn't have to mean that you're not going to have social skills. Like, Mike is a great example of that. The guy is absolutely amazing at social interactions. He knows so well how to portray himself in a confident manner. But at the same time, it's very easy to tell that whenever he does find himself in social situations, that he's kind of putting on this Englishman act. He knows so well how to constantly make jokes and be charming and be witty, but all along you feel like you're watching someone perform. It's very rare that we get to see Mike relaxed or just being himself and not being extra.
Whoa! So, that's closed. We moved into a new apartment. You might have seen in previous videos the old apartment which I was staying at. Stayed there all last summer and even a little bit of this summer. It was a hell of a lot of fun, but we needed to upgrade to a slightly larger one. This one is a 3-bedroom one. And you can see there's way more space, I'll show you the upstairs whilst we are doing a little apartment tour. Got a kitchen there.
Pay attention to the way that he utilizes his eyes. He's literally hypnotizing the audience all the time when he talks. He knows what he's doing. This is not a coincidence. He has sat back and thought about this. How can I come across the best? How can I connect with my audience? This is not some dumb muscle-bound jock who took some steroids and started selling protein shakes. Mike is a deep thinker, and he knows what he's doing. If anything, the only time that the people who follow his content get to see him more relaxed and turned down and more natural and more open and sincere is when he is holding the camera himself and vlogging by himself. There is a distinct difference between Mike when he's in the gym talking to people being filmed by a third party, or when Mike is holding the camera himself and just letting his thoughts flow. The Mike that we see when he's holding the camera himself is the closest we will ever get to seeing the essence of him. Anytime he's around other people, he feels the need to keep up this bravado, to hold up this image of being the Mike Thurston. So when Sartre said, other people are hell, I think that applies very much to Mike's life. Imagine going from living in Dubai for 6 months and basically only having to see people 2 hours a day, to then having to go to live in Ibiza, sharing a flat with 2 or 3 other people, and basically never being alone again. For people like him, this is a recipe for disaster, as he no longer has peace, tranquility, and just moments to himself to think. He literally says it himself in the video. I was no longer able to think clearly, to be creative. If you really pay attention, he actually put so many little gems in that clip right there. He said so much, but again, he had to be politically correct, make sure not to offend anyone. But if you listened to what he was saying, he literally said, I don't want to be around people. Leave me alone. Staying in the realm of philosophy, there is another well-known quote that resonated with me as I was listening to Mike. It goes as follows. I have learned to seek my happiness by limiting my desires rather than in attempting to satisfy them. A guy named John Stuart Mill, living in the 19th century, said that. And I think this applies to Mike's situation so incredibly well. His entire career, his claim to fame, has been built on limiting desires. Limiting desires to get into the need, to eat junk food, to have a bad diet, to be lazy, to drink alcohol, to go out a lot. He has built his entire life on the foundation of discipline, right? That is where he has found his happiness. Now, because of who he is today, he is able to go on these 4-month trips to Ibiza and just do whatever the hell he wants. Sky is the limit. Anything is possible. But what does he find? That by no longer limiting his desires, by giving in to all of his desires in the form of doing whatever luxury activity he wants, by indulging in any fun activity with any type of person, with any type of woman, actually happiness begins to evade him. By attempting to satisfy his desires, he actually becomes unhappy in the process. And that's why he feels depressed. That's why he feels without a purpose. It goes against his very DNA. And this should be a lesson to all of you. I know so many of you are thinking that if one day you can just get the sports car, get the model wife, get the big house, you will feel so good and everything will be okay and you will be euphoric every day. No, no, no. Learn from Mike. Listen to what he's telling you. You will never achieve happiness that way. No amount of material objects, status, or superficial pleasures will make you happy in your core. Moving on to another quote. Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. But if you turn your attention to other things, it will come and sit softly on your shoulder. This was once said by a fellow named Henry David Thoreau. He was living in the 18th century. And again, this quote is such a great example of what Mike is perhaps even subconsciously talking about. The entire time, the last couple of years, as he was building his brand, he was focused on the grind, on the work, getting his YouTube numbers up, getting his sales up, getting his followers up, all that stuff. For sure, he had a greater goal in mind. He was chasing some type of status, some type of finish line. But as he went along, he learned that in the process, he became happy. He never had to arrive at that point that he had in mind to truly become happy. The journey was the reward. The journey was the destination. So again, indulging in a party lifestyle of just relaxing and having fun simply highlighted that these are nothing but empty calories at the buffet of happiness. Now, from all the things I've said, this final quote might be the best of them all, said by a fellow named Nietzsche that you might have heard of. He said, happiness is the feeling that power increases, that resistance is being overcome. How wonderful is that? How beautiful is that? In such a literal and figurative manner, it entails the whole journey of fitness, bodybuilding, and building your brand. This entire time, Mike was pushing against resistance, literally and figuratively, but he overcame, and he felt like he was overcoming. And now, he's a big shot. He's famous. He has arrived, and everywhere he goes, all the guys want to shake his hand, take pictures. All the girls want to sleep with him. And guess what? There's nothing fun about that. It sucks. From all accounts, from all famous people that we know, they all say the same thing. I wish I was no longer famous. It sucks when everybody knows who you are and everybody wants to be your friend. No more realness remains. You're surrounded by fake people trying to get them to like you, wanting something from you. There is no more resistance. All doors open. You don't have to try anymore. You don't have to push or work hard anymore. No effort is required whatsoever. And for a guy like Mike, this is depressing. This makes him sad. Where is the challenge? Where is the purpose? And even more importantly, that's why you should never strive to become famous or rich or known or a big YouTuber or a big Instagrammer. Find happiness in your everyday life by being who you are. Understand that it's never going to get much better than having peace on the inside and knowing who you are. Understand that all those things that you're seeing on social media and the internet are just mirages, illusions. Nothing is what it seems. One of the greatest things that you can do in life is actually look at someone else's experiences, watch them go through things, watch them make mistakes, and learn from their mistakes, learn from their experiences, instead of having to make that same mistake yourself. Now, we can do that by looking at Mike. He has arrived at the absolute pinnacle of social media fame. And what did he have to say? This is depressing. This is boring. Get me the hell out of here. Pay attention to what he's saying. And that's it. That is my deep dive on that topic. I hope this can bring you clarity. I hope this can bring you insight and can make you think about what you're doing and where you want to go and who you want to be. Big shout out to Mike for being an absolute legend. I love your content and I will continue to support and watch all your work. Big shout out to all my subscribers and all the people who have watched this all the way until the end. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and share this video. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon. Ciao.
Hi, my name's Spencer. I'm a filmmaker from Chicago. I'm a person who struggled with anxiety, OCD, and mild depression for most of my life. I've seen many therapists and tried many different medications. Recently, I was kind of looking for something more, to get more motivated, to get more things done, and I had just come across Lorenzo's YouTube channel. I just started binge watching, and I became so inspired about his attitude, the way he goes about things, and he just seems so genuine, so intelligent, and I just decided to reach out because I thought if he could make it through everything that he had made it through and be succeeding so well now, that he must know something. And I can safely say he does. He's so much different than any other therapist I had seen before. I felt like more of a connection. I felt that everything that he was talking about with me was from experience that he had and not just something that he learned in a book. And I think that's the biggest difference that I could honestly say. So he's helped me so much with motivation, organizing my life, more confidence, and the biggest thing is to live in the moment. And I really appreciate what I have and who I'm with and what I'm doing when I'm doing it. And that was something I've never done before. So once again, I would like to highly recommend Lorenz, aka Wounded Viking. Please hit him up for life coaching.